Last year, 2024, May, my family and I went to Japan for a family trip. And we were supposed to take a guided tour to Mount Fuji, but that got canceled, so some of us took the bus there. And when we got there, Mount Fuji was in the clouds. This is a view from the mountain overlooking the lake. And we just explored that little mountain for a bit. It wasn't ideal that Mount Fuji was in the clouds, but I thought it was really nice to be kind of away from the more touristy spots. And when I saw this sign here, I really wanted to do this, but the time at this point was like 3 p.m. and we were supposed to catch the bus back to our Airbnb at 5. So that didn't seem like it was going to be very likely for me to hike that. There's Carson and Brody doing their little samurai pose. And so we just went and explored the top of the mountain. Took up Carson and Brody with me. This is a picture of the map that I took from somebody who said, yeah, download the All Trails maps. And so then we actually took the little hike down, me, Carson, Riley, and Jeff, my 2 nephews and my brother-in-law. And this was a picture of the little temple area, something, altar on the way down. And yeah, I really wanted to do that hike, so I had my sister book me a stay at a nearby hotel, rest stop kind of thing. I just decided to stay on my own, didn't catch the bus back. This is a picture of what it looked like. I think it was like $50 for the night, so I decided to stay behind and do the hike in the morning. So I downloaded the All Trails app, and then I started to plot out a course. The coolest part about this little room I was staying was the bed was in the closet, which I really liked. So there's a view of the mountain. And then, the place was called Guest House OC. And this was a picture of me at that little altar spot. And this was the posting, the ad for the place. And then this was me looking at the All Trails route. I decided, rather than going up to Mount Mitsutoge and then back down the same way, I wanted to find a route that would go down a different way than what I started. So this was actually the route that I took to go up to Mount Mitsutoge. All I had on me was my fanny pack and a little water bottle. So the night before, I went to 7-Eleven. I fueled up on a little bit of water and some energy gels. And this was the hike that I did by myself. It was, I think it took me like 8 hours or something to go up to the top. And then I didn't go back down this route. I actually went a different route down. So come morning time, I think it was like 5 a.m., something like that. I started 5:30. Yeah, so I'll voice over some of the hike, but overall, probably just gonna leave a lot of it raw. So the raw nature sounds can be enjoyed. This little bathroom here was pretty interesting. It had a standing, squatting toilet. There he is, Mount Fuji, Fuji-san. By this point, I was pretty stoked to have made my decision to stay and hike because I got to see that beautiful mountain. I kept thinking along the way that like there was so many good spots to like camp, but I didn't really have any like camping gear or just, I don't know if that's allowed or anything, but I probably would have just tried to do it. But look at that mountain, it's so beautiful. The lake here looks so peaceful and calm in the morning. Getting to the spot, that's the little tram we took up the mountain. It's pretty interesting to go to this really bustling tourist spot before any of the tourists were there. Overall, Japan was very touristy from the spots that we went, so when I saw that opportunity to hike and the feeling and the vibe that it wasn't so touristy, I just felt like I had to do it. The next time I go to Japan, if that ever happens, I would like to do more hiking and would even like to hike up to Mount Fuji. I think that'd be a great experience. I've hiked quite a bit in Hawaii where I live, but yeah, Mount Fuji, Japan seems to have really nice hiking spots. I'd say even better than Hawaii because there's not as many people on the trails. So yeah, I got some 7-Eleven fuel, water, and these little gel packs. So this was what I was going on my 8-hour expedition, or however long it was going to take. I just got some gel energy, kind of like almost fasting, I guess. Seeing this sign, I was a little nervous, I guess, to potentially run into a bear all alone on the trail. But yeah, I guess you'll see if that indeed ended up happening. I remember looking at this part and feeling like, oh, that's a pretty steep hill. If you were to like slip, you'd probably just keep going until you got stopped by a tree. But very cool. And then luckily I had my barefoot shoes on, which, yeah, they did pretty well on the hike. By the way, 7-Elevens in Japan are the best that I've been to. And the ones in Hawaii are better than the mainland, but 7-Elevens in Japan, they are awesome. Yeah, not the best at whistling, but I was trying to get this bird that I was hearing make these bird noises to respond to me Really interesting sounding bird. There was a lot of wildlife that I've thought was really interesting.
Scangold Beach.
I remember making that little clip to scare my little sister, being out hiking alone. Spotted some animal tracks. By this point, I had gotten pretty high up in the mountain. Hadn't seen anyone yet until this point, which was pretty cool. And this spot was pretty nice because they had it almost seemed like a restoration project where maybe they were trying to restore some of the local vegetation that the people used to probably sustain themselves off of in times past. Not sure what it is, but just had a feeling that it was like some kind of food or something. And there's those bears again. And pretty cool, they had beers in a vending machine up there at this little rest stop. Some old, pretty cool Jeeps. Like, pretty cool to see those old Jeeps way up the mountain like that. And here's where the hike gets pretty interesting. This is the way down another ridge. So this was where it's a little bit more dangerous and probably less friendly of a hike, but decent amount of hiking experience, so I felt pretty confident in doing it. And here I heard these like interesting salamanders or something, I think, but listen to that. Actually, I couldn't see them, but they sound like little like dogs barking or something. Or yeah, if anyone knows what those are, let me know in the comments. I thought this spot was pretty cool. It was like somebody had lived here at one point. So this is going down the mountain. And this is where it gets really interesting because I saw this like mountain streams. Turns out the way that I went down was in this kind of like national park. And so it was pretty exciting to see fresh water running from the mountain. Yeah, so this is the national park, Fuji Hakone Izu National Park. Super cool place. I definitely want to come back to this place and go camping. Pretty sure there's no video of it, but that's the location where I decided to take off all my clothes and go essentially cold plunging because the water was nearly freezing. Or it was so cold. It wasn't probably nearly freezing, but it was really, really cold. So I jumped in, took a little refresher. And sight for sore eyes, tennis courts. So I eventually made it out of the park and ended up in this quaint little quiet town. And I thought this water trough thing that they had was pretty interesting. Another vending machine, and so after 8 or so hours my hike was coming to an end, so made it to this little train stop and started to head back to Koenji, and I ended up at Kanda Tamago Ken for this omurice. All in all, the trip to Japan with the family was just so awesome. Incredibly grateful to experience such an amazing time visiting the motherland. My dad is full Japanese, and all 4 of my grandparents actually are born in Hawaii, so I've never been to Japan, and it was a totally awesome experience. I highly recommend visiting Japan for anyone who's wanting or considering going. Totally go. The ramen, food, just so good. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. It's probably maybe 1 or 2 people, but I've been wanting to post this video for a while, so if you want to see more things about what I do, like and subscribe so I know that at least someone out there is interested. Peace!